Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. Well, who is calling in today? JT Foxx, the Canadian-American businessman. He's in real estate. He's in everything. Well, JT, tell us, what's the newest ventures you're in?
Oh, well, first of all, as we talked about AI, I mean, it's just what it's doing. And I think there's still people who don't understand. Mark Cuban told me we are in the first inning of preseason on first base and AI. That's how new we are as well. And who knows? Very soon you won't have to do this show because we can clone your voice and you can tell them what to do and then, enjoy life.
Well, I actually was going to use Abraham Lincoln and interview him tomorrow.
You could technically do that if you just take a picture of Abraham Lincoln. I kid you not. Like, type in what you want to do, and he voice talks. You can bring anybody back to life.
But how can they do it? Because Abraham Lincoln, is there any real voice indication? So it would have to be somebody that existed so AI could do the research on what his voice sounds like.
But if no one knows what his voice sounds like, then you can put any voice because no one knows what it sounds like, and you could say that's the voice.
Oh, either that or we have to find some old actors that played Abraham Lincoln in the movies and use them.
You know what? We can do whatever you want. In fact, I plan on your voice is very hard to clone. For some reason, we've got it, but your voice is extremely hard to clone. I don't know what it is. I think.
Well, the guys from that movie I did, Marty Supreme, said the same thing.
By the way, you were so good on that movie. It was really good. You actually was real life. It's exactly what you do in real life.
You know why I was so good? That's my natural self.
By the way, you should ask for royalties on that. And by the way, you should have won an Oscar if you had not been too all over the place. That cost you an Oscar, John. You could have had an Oscar.
Well, I'll call up Timothy Chalamet and blame him.
You should. You should make sure that you bring him into his office, have Kylie Jenner here. For research purposes, I'd like to be in the studio.
What do? I yell? You cost me the damn Oscar.
Yeah, you call me an Oscar. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? It was very impressive. And by the way, how many takes did you do? Because I've been in many movies myself.
25 takes.
25 takes. Is it
Josh Safdie, the director-producer, wanted perfection.
Wow.
Now tell us what you're doing now.
Well, first of all, I dropped into your office here very, very, very late. In fact, you're probably the only one working on Sunday in the office, probably the only one working. And we were talking about what are the next three big jobs that are happening right now. And I think there's a lot have to do in New York City when you walk through the streets. Trades, AI is not going to replace that. And plumbing, HVAC, electrical. Anything that AI cannot replace, you're going to see in New York City, because I'm seeing a shortage all across the United States as well in the world. And until immigration laws open up where we can bring people from other countries to fulfill that, you're going to see your cost of your plumbers, your electricians, and now electricians make a lot of money with all these data centers. I mean, I know some of them making $350,000 to $400,000 just to be an electrician. And then plumbing, because
in other words, there's a shortage of electricians.
Well, plumbers as well. Nobody's going to plumbing school.
You talk about my book. You know what I tell people? I tell people the fact is, if you are the best in something, then you're gonna do well in life.
Of course.
So you got to pick and say, what do you want to be the best in?
But there's some things you want to be. You could be the best baker. I guess unless you're branded, it's not going to make a difference, right? So a lot of people they say, well, this is what I love.
But you also have to have leadership, and if you're the best baker in only one bakery, you're not going to do that good.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think?
But if you have leadership and you're able to open up 5,000 bakeries, then you're going to do well.
I'm curious, what are you the best at? What do you think that you're the best at?
I'm a good learner. In other words, I usually become better than my teachers.
I will say this, I'm knowing you very well. Number one, you're probably the most common sense person I've ever met. And number two, you know how to stay in the middle and go whatever side as long as it's common sense. And you are a bridge to any relationship. You're with a few people.
You know what I tell politicians?
What?
How do you pick a subject that you're going to talk about? If 80% of the people say, that's common sense, then that's what you do.
The problem with common sense, it's not as common as you and I
That's
think.
the problem. So let's get on with the
All right,
interview.
so number one is trades. Number two, this is going to surprise you. AI employee designers. Someone comes into your radio station. You're like, listen, there's a lot of admin stuff. My people are being bogged down. Build me a workflow, like step by step. What I mean says, find me the manual task of what I'm doing. And sometimes it's as easy as having your people on the computer, the AI saying what keys and where are they clicking, and put that in there. By the way, you're talking about, and I'm telling this, between $150 to $700 an hour is what the going rate to be an AI employee designer. Who would have thought, John, that a year ago there's a whole market now for people to design non-humans to do the work of humans? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I feel that, well, I'll tell you, I think some of the movies that we saw 20, 30, 40 years ago, look, Flash Gordon came true. Star Trek is coming true.
But are you a believer, though, AI?
You know what's coming true?
What?
With drones and Terminator 1. I don't think you're going to have any more soldiers. I think they're going to send in robots.
I agree. I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a little butterfly that's designed by a Chinese company that's a little AI drone butterfly, and it goes, flies around, goes straight to someone's head, and then creates an electrical shock inside the brain and blows up the brain from inside as a weapon. That's how scary some of that stuff could be. And there's no regulation on it. And you know why there's no regulation? It's because
the politicians are not smart enough to protect against it.
Well, that too. But here's another part. Is that unlike Google, when they came up, they wanted privacy. What they're saying, law enforcement, hey, you want to look at records, we'll report things. And so they're trying to be open and transparent, so there's no regulation. So they're making billions of dollars. I mean, think about how these companies have become valuable by taking our private information. Anything you put in the free AIs, they actually can use again to Googleable and sell and everything. And I think people don't know that. And they think they're getting something for free. But there's no such thing as a free lunch in this world.
There's no free lunch.
There's no free lunch.
Now, AI, what else?
I think the third one is also, too, this ability of having anything that is trade schools, beauty schools, AI schools.
Somebody has to do it.
But the universities are not teaching. You know how crazy it is? There's no children that will ever be smarter than AI. And they have never taught financial literacy in school. They're not even talking about AI. In fact, they're trying to ban it and stuff like that. And so in the end of the day, that's the biggest issue, is that we're always slowly behind. But you know who's teaching AI in schools? The Chinese, Singaporeans, and Asia. And we're always so behind in this education system as well, because everyone's afraid of being replaced.
JT Foxx, Canadian-American businessman, actually worldwide businessman. Thank you for coming on this Sunday morning, and let's catch up again real soon.
Love you, brother.
The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.